our first child died. We had adopted two boys. The oldest one died as well the year I was ordained in 2001. And so we have two children left, and my daughter Amy, and who is ours, and my son John, and they are doing well. And I have one grandson, Andrew William, Drew they call him, and it's going to be 5. Grandpa's taking him to Disneyland in October. So, having that is unusual. So the bishop asked me, he said, what do you think about an unmarried priesthood? I said, well, frankly, Bishop, I don't see how you can be a priest and be married. It's just not in the cards, especially now that I have done it. I mean, my parish where I am right now is 5,700 families. Yeah. When would I have time for a
5,700 families?
Yeah. In Brentwood, California.
That's bizarre. I mean, the size. Why? Yeah. I pastored. I was senior pastor of a Presbyterian church that was considered large in its day, of 370 families. Yeah. I mean, 50s. Yeah. How can you pastor?
You don't.
How can you care?
You can't. It's impossible. Yeah. But that's what it is, and wow. So you just hope for the best. Yeah. But there would be no time for family life in that regard. It's just not possible. Right. So for me and my journey, coming to celibacy was oddly, it was really the thing that catapulted me into a closer walk with God and Jesus. Mm-hmm. I think it was something I had known about and struggled with for all those years, ever since I was just a kid. And somehow or other, I always knew that was what I was supposed to be and do. And recently I read an article in a magazine, First Things. Is that something you're familiar with?
Right. Oh, yes.
Yeah, a woman wrote this article about celibacy in the Catholic Church, and it got the next month. I'm always anxious to read the letters to the editor because they want to trash whatever that was written in it, and it got pretty well trashed. But I thought it was a brilliant article, and I don't even know what her name is. I've forgotten it, but it really left an impression on me. And one of the things that it left an impression on me was that celibacy was where I was able to come home and come to rest. So much of my life I had been, seeking and struggling and looking and in many cases in all the wrong places, and it was this that made it possible for me to come to rest. And so for me it was a brilliant move, and I treasure my celibacy, and we don't. Diocesan priests don't take the evangelical counsels of poverty, chastity, and obedience. We take, but we do similar. Right. Certainly, celibacy is our promise and at ordination, and to me that's been a thing that has been the catapult for me in my walk. So,
and celibacy, maybe explain that, not so much being a commitment to individual aloneness, but a different kind of marriage. Yeah. To Christ and His church. Yeah. I'm assuming that's what you mean by a new understanding of who you are in relationship with Christ. Yeah. And what celibacy has meant for you.
So part of my being confirmed in the Catholic Church and entering in 1995 was a recognition that was going to be, regardless of whether I was ordained or not, I was going to be celibate, and and discovered that was had a great value for me personally. We used to say in the Episcopal Church, well, some people may be called to celibacy, but most of us are not. And so it was pretty much understood that you'd be married in the Episcopal Church, and now, of course, these days in other kinds of relationships. But what I found is that it is a gift, but it's one you can pray for, like any other gift, and it can, and God will grant it if He will grant it. So, and He has.
It's that Psalm 37 verse that says God gives the desires of your heart. Well, has He given you what you desire, or do you put that desire in there?
Oh, yes.
It's a both and.
Both and, yeah. And the true desires, not the fluff desires that are so often on the top of things, like, oh yeah, I want a Mercedes-Benz. Yeah. Right. Yeah. I want what God wants. Thy will be done. Yeah. As Jesus makes us pray every day, even though we may not pay attention to it. And yeah, so that was it was a brilliant thing for me. So I decided that was where I was that was the way my life would be from then on. And by the grace of God, and it's not been a struggle, really. I mean, loneliness is loneliness, and every once in a while, everybody experiences it, even in marriage, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So
that's right.
So then I was